Hey folks, welcome to another edition of On the Icebox with Iceberg Bricks. I'm your boy, Iceberg Bricks. First off, Happy New Year to you all. I want to say thanks for everyone, tuning in and hearing me babble each week with a different guest. Also want to thank the AFOL community for accepting me into the family as well. I would like to thank the DMV boys for bringing me part of their family as well too. So it's not quite a year in review because I haven't been around for a full year. But however, On the Icebox has started. It was July 14th. Was my first show. And that very first show, I had a guy from the Bronx, New York, named BX Bricks. Now, this guy, just a kid from the Bronx, Transformers influent, Bricks influent, living in an urban city is kind of tough. And he speaks about that in episode 1 of On the Icebox. And so we go into the mind of BX Bricks, and he comes up with this idea, as we see, that he's able to use the mecha technique and actually make Lego that transforms. And he used Transformers where they turn into Autobots or Decepticons and into the vehicle modes. We actually have a clip of that. And I'll go ahead and share that, and then I'll let you know what I think. Please let me know what you think as well.
Everything. So tell us about this Macy's build. I saw this on your Facebook website and thought, man, this thing is massive. I see you behind it. And tell us about this Macy's build.
Oh, so that. Funny story, that's probably one of the most stressful times in my life trying to get that done. So the thing that inspired me to go for that was I'm on Mock Pages, which is like a website for Lego builders. They show this stuff mostly through pictures, sometimes videos. And I was intrigued by a lot of people that were doing scales of the different buildings from around the world. And one of the iconic buildings that I had exposure to, growing up in New York was the Macy's in Herald Square.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, you'll see Macy's in Miracle on 34th Street, that's where all of that took place.
Mm-hmm.
Lego tried to touch on it a little bit, but didn't really capture the full effect of it. So nobody else really tackled it, so I designed it.
Okay.
And what it was is that I never really physically built it, but what I did, I designed it on the computer, did screenshots and stuff. And being that I was the only person that built it, these people, it was somebody from a commercial advertising agency,
mm-hmm.
Competing with other agencies to try to get a contract with Macy's. And they worked closely with Lego.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, all right, we need somebody who could build this particular Macy's out of Lego. They Googled it, and I'm the only guy that popped up. So
wow.
They emailed me immediately saying, hey, I think it was a Wednesday afternoon, they emailed me. And they said, hey, we love what you did. We want to know if we could get this on our desk by, I think they said Monday morning. So I'm like, oh, I was like, all right, we gotta stop whatever we're doing. We gotta head back home. I gotta get to work on this.
Yeah, because that thing looked like it took some time. How long did that take you?
Well, the actual design itself before it was built took about 18 hours. To build it, once all the pieces were in front of me, it took about 7 hours.
Oh wow. Yeah, I guess that kind of smooths it out, because if you map your plan out, yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Man.
Yeah, so they email me, I get home, I start, they want to know how much it cost. And I don't know, I never set that stuff up, but I spent a whole night coloring it the way they wanted, got the quote for them, and spent like the next 3 days ordering pieces from all around the world, expedited shipping and everything to try to get this stuff done.
Bricklink is the favorite.
Bricklink is the truth. At first, I was kind of skeptical about it because I was like, I don't know you. Why am I buying Legos from you? I'd rather buy from Lego because I know they're brand new. Like, you send me something dirty, then I don't really want. But that was like my rite of passage into Bricklink because I probably placed at least 20-something orders to get that Macy's done. Oh
yeah, it looks a lot. It looks a lot of brick. So let's talk about your starship here. So I seen you when what was it at Brick Fair, and I seen it took you approximately 4 hours just to do the display on your Brick Fair project.
Right.
Tell us about what got you started into doing, because when I look into it, you didn't, right here it's 100 transformers, but you didn't have 100 transformers when you first registered to Brick Fair, did you?
Well, I actually designed over 100, but when I knew that the theme was going to be X, I kind of translated that into 10. So I did like 10 by 10, which added up to 100. So it was a matter of like picking out my best builds, but I wanted to have 50 Autobots, which are the good guys, and 50 Decepticons, the bad guys. And I only ever designed 30 Decepticons. So I had about maybe a 2-week window where I had to design 20 people and like design them from scratch, not even ideas that have been sitting around, like from scratch, order the pieces, make sure that they worked, and make sure they were on time for Brick Fair. So
okay,
that was insane. That was definitely insane.
I bet. That is the closest shot of it. So you took your stuff home, right? And I remember you were saying like you sold one to a guy. You sold your Megatron to a guy. But what did they take? I mean, did somebody steal one from you, or did you find it at the end of the night?
Oh yeah, like I was packing up, and we had an extra bag, and I knew I would have an extra bag from Megatron, but then my girl was like, "Oh, we gave him that bag for him." So I honestly, I've rebuilt all of them. I still haven't counted them yet. There might be one missing. I have no idea, but they're literally all over my room. So, I mean, at some point in the week, I might try to count them, but I made sure I didn't take anything apart specifically. But I mean, if I did lose it, like, there's no way to keep track of 100 figures, honestly. Like,
yeah, it's a lot. That's a shame, man. Come on, folks. You know, people work hard for their stuff, for doing the 5-finger discount.
Yeah, I mean, it's still flattering. I mean, they felt the need to, watch it, wait until I wasn't looking. They must have really wanted it. And if that's the case, then by all means.
Flatted on the floor. If I catch them, they had been flatted on the floor. Forget that, man. Oh, man. All right, folks, look, check this out. I need some participation from you. So, like I said before, the picture to the left is number 1, then there's 2 in the middle, and there's 3 to the right. So, all right, folks. So that one there was my very first show. The guy BX Breaks. I mean, he had as you can see, he had a collection of Transformers, like 100 plus. Since then he hadn't added about a few more. So I mean, not to promote his stuff, but yeah, I'm going to promote it. If you're not friends with him on Instagram or YouTube, definitely become friends with him just to even get to know him. But not only that, just to see the artwork that he has done. And I think that is phenomenal. You got Legos that transform like the regular Transformers. I think he has taken that mecha design to a whole nother level. And not only that, is that did you see that Macy's build that he had? That Macy's building that he had. That he stumbled upon that being an artist, and somebody hired him to do that. And I think that was very remarkable as well.
if you don't know his story, definitely go back. But you know, just a short brief of it is that you know, he started out with, you know, playing with Lego as a kid. Grew up, you know, hip hop was around. He decided he was going to get a record deal, and when that didn't go through, and he was in the workforce, he went back to what he knew, which was Lego, and now that's his business, is making these mechas and selling these mechas to Transformers, and going to Lego shows such as where I met him in Brick Fair in Virginia, and he's done the one in Edison, New Jersey as well too. So running into episode 2, we had Jesse Brick Galaxy. Now Jesse Brick Galaxy is a Midwesterner. He's a futuristic builder, and he's also a member of Brickmania. Some of his models have been sold on Brickmania. Jesse started out as a skateboarder, DJ. He's a motorcycle enthusiast, and he always there always was Lego around there, and so he took his hobby and made it work for him. Here's Jesse's story here.
Now this is where I'm mad with you, Jesse. I'm really mad. I'm mad because, like, you know, I didn't talk to you about your bills, saw you at the show, and you never mentioned the Hall of Justice. You never mentioned it. And then I look on your webpage, and boom, there it is, the Hall of Justice. Yes, very, very eye-catching, and it's such unique, you know, such unique build that this is. It's just, you know, it's phenomenal. I really like it, Jesse. I do.
Thank you so much. So yeah, this one was a challenge. Guess where I started.
Where would you start on this one?
Well, the arch, of course. The arch is splayed out in individual panels, and then clipped together with a flex tube. So accordion, it's splayed out at like an accordion. And I knew if I could do that, I could almost engrave the letters Hall of Justice within the panels.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a sticker, that's actually brick-built lettering.
What? Wait, stop. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, you're right. Oh, wow, man. So you got a build, a unique build with inside a unique build here. I mean, that looks very time consuming.
Yeah, I get the question a lot, how long did it take? And I usually say 50 hours on a superhero build, where it, you know, if it took me 5 hours over 10 nights, that'd be, you know, 2 weeks worth of work. That's a rough estimate. So you start with the arch, and that determined the size of the building.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a little help with the train club on learning some techniques and splaying that stuff out, and then figured out how to build around it. And that does have an interior. There is a flip side with the Council Classic Super Friends headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the patio, or the fountain, and the flash there catches a lot of eyes.
Oh yeah, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that on a couple of pictures.
The bend some brick techniques. If you haven't done that, you can try to chat me up about it. It's pretty useful.
Okay, I will be chatting you up about it, because that looks pretty awesome. I will. And Hall of Justice, man, that thing is one of a kind, man. Definitely one of a kind, man. You definitely, you know, put your signature down on that one.
Thank you. Yeah, that was, and historically, I was more of a Marvel kid growing up, but I'm paying attention to DC just as much these days, and representing Lego as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. All right, here's a fan favorite. You have the, I guess this would be the before and after shot.
Yeah, so, wow, okay. So before, prototype number 1, call it, is on the right. If you look at the windows closely, they're not blue. So I was sourcing as much as I could with white windows, and I think I ran out and then started doing the blue tinted windows, and then came to a decision that the whole thing should be blue windows, and rebuilt it.
Okay.
And the one on the right is also shorter, so you can see like it's missing a level or 2 or 3 panels of windows compared to the one on the left. And the signature flex tube red piping, I guess, catches a lot of eyes. I would have preferred blue.
So that was Jesse Brick Galaxy. He actually has one of his projects on Brickmania, which is the multiverse spaceship, which is the Rick and Morty spaceship. And so that you can purchase there on Brickmania's website. But he also had the Sanctum Sanctorum, which, you know, in it. And that, if you haven't seen the video, definitely go back. It's episode 2 on the Icebox. The Sanctum Sanctorum should have made Lego ideas. That's how good that thing was. But he didn't get enough votes on it. And you know, that's us as a community failing one of our own. And it happens. You know, somebody's idea is probably not so popular. But I think that Lego should have picked that model up because it was just so much. It would have been an awesome build, probably up there with the fishing shop. You know, that's Jesse Brick Galaxy. Like I said, he's a Marvel fan, but he also incorporated. He had a lot of DC builds in there as well. So definitely go back and take a look at episode number 2, just for the views. I mean, just for the, you know, the viewing of what his artwork is and everything. Jesse is definitely ahead of the class when it comes to Legos. You know, so episode 3, Calibra's episode 2. A guy named Troy, Asians of Mock, we know from our Lego community. If you don't know him, Agents of Mock says it all. His Avengers Tower is dynamic like no other. And it truly stands out. You could probably go into YouTube right now and type in Lego Avengers Tower, and his picture is the first picture you're gonna see. Guarantee you. I bet you $100. How I know? Because I already checked it out. So and so the guy's that good. So he's a West Coaster. He's a superheroes themed builder as well. He, you know, so like I said, with the Agents of Mox, he's definitely a superheroes theme. He grew up on Lego and went into the Dark Ages, came back out with just a set, and he's been taking the world by storm. He's got his Avengers Tower. He's got the Sanctum Sanctorum. He's got Egon, which is the Guardians of the Galaxy. And so you definitely want to check that out. And that's episode 3. I'm gonna give you what I got right now. And this is Agent Playwell of Agents of Mock.
Amazing. All right, so tell us about your starship here. Jeez. I'm very envious too. I'm very envious.
You're telling me it looks like it's gonna frickin' jettison off that platform. But yeah, this here is my Lego community, really. I mean, when I built this, there were so many other people in the Lego community who had already built Avengers Towers. To name off a few, I'm sorry if I forget you, but some big inspirations for me were Down Under Bricks, Aussie Bricks, Cool Kid Bricks. I think Red Faced Goose had one. Bryce Middle Zealand, Zany Bricks. Those were the big ones for me to get the inspiration to build this. And you know, it's a cool looking building. It really is.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Really unique looking. It's kind of like something that you would see in Dubai or something like that. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You wouldn't usually see it in New York City or something like that, even though it's, you know, it's based in New York City.
Oh yeah. Fictionally, yeah. But it's like you said, you took a simple build, and I mean, like you said, you had influence, but you took a simple build and you made it this monument. And that's one of the things that I do want to see live. I know the people in the chat probably want to see other things, but I wanted to see inside this baby. I wanted to see. This is one of my favorite buildings, and so I want to see what you got inside, and because I still want to know how you got the arc reactor in there. So I tried to put it in mind, but I just didn't have enough room. So and you know, so we'll here. This is the arc reactor, is it?
Yeah, that's the arc reactor.
Yeah. Oh, and then you also have Tony Stark's iron collection. So tell us, you know, just elaborate a little bit on both photos we have here.
Okay, so we'll start on the left-hand side with the arc reactor. That was something that I wanted in there for sure from the very beginning when designing this thing. And you know, you see it in the first Avengers movie, just briefly in the Avengers movie, where Stark Tower is being lit up close to the beginning of the movie. But yeah, it shows that it's somewhere down there in that building. You know, that's powering the whole thing. So I wanted that in this thing, because I wanted that realism to where you go, that's what's powering this whole thing. And so I came up with this build that's kind of like suspended above the lobby area for Stark Industries.
Okay.
With those 8x8 grid plates.
That's Troy from Agents of Mock. Definitely, if you're not following that guy, you're not following anybody. Definitely go follow that guy. Look at the pictures on his Instagram and with the work that he's done. So you definitely want to go check that out and check him out because even in that segment alone, and he had a lot of projects, and that was one of the longer interviews where he had a lot of projects where he was just so in detail. And then even after he showed the inside of the Avengers Tower, and you know, just the different pull-out systems he had inside the tower. Awesome engineering for that piece of work. My next guest, which was in episode 1, was a young fellow from Australia named RRB Ninjago. RRB he's a young guy, San Francisco 49ers fan, right? Go figure. And he started off, you know, as any other, you know, kid would, you know, playing football, playing some sports, you know, doing the teenager thing. But he was also into Lego. And some of the themes that he was into was Ninjago. So this guy, all the products that you have in your household now, which is the Ninjago City, the Garma Mecha Man, the Fire Mech, the Ice Mech, all the creations that Ninjago came out with from the movie, he already had before they came out. He already, you know, looked at, I guess, the movie, or looked at, you know, he was following the series and everything, and he made them from the series already. So he pumps out. You know, they give out, you know, the pictures of what Ninjago City is going to look like, and you know, as a teaser. And so he took that picture and made his own Ninjago City before the release date, before the Ninjago City came out, and it was spot on. It was so spot on. I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna show you. Here we go. Let's get this started right here.
Saturate sets with the same ninja. So
yeah, and they done the same. So I think I got tons of J, just tons. He's like in every set. So yeah, it's just oversaturating. All right, so we're gonna get right into your Starship build here. And this is the build that made waves. This is it, man. I think this is one of your. I mean, you made some prizes, but I think this is your top prize.
Yeah.
Mocking being one of the first to mock the city. So take us from the beginning. This is the beginning shot that I had here. Take us from the beginning here.
At the beginning, I was looking at it thinking, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. No way in hell I'm going to be able to do this build. It was just so, because of my OCD, I had to get things as close as possible. And when I couldn't, it was like, I'm not going to be able to do this. But I ended up just pushing through. I'm sure you've got all the photos, but I ended up just pushing through, and I did a few streams, but then my channel got taken down, so I had to do it myself. So I just did it myself, which ended up being faster, but it took me 2 weeks. So not that bad, but it was the longest ever time I've spent on one build by a mile. I've never spent that much time on one build, ever. I'm sure you spent way longer on your brick Bangor police station, but for me it was just like that's the longest I've ever spent on one build for sure.
Oh yeah. I spent time. Yeah, I spent a lot of time.
Yeah.
All right, so you're digging into this thing, and you're having doubts already about trying to complete this thing, and mind you, you are under inadvertently you are under a timeline because the Ninjago City is coming, and so you're trying to finish this thing before it comes out.
Yeah.
And so what other measures did you take? Did you put this on? It looks like you did you develop a CAD system for it?
No, with the elevator, I think you call it an elevator in the US. We call it a lift.
Yeah, we call it lift or elevator here too. Yeah.
Yeah. So
we're confused over here. We don't know what it's going to be.
With the lift, I decided I couldn't do it the same way they did in the set, because you built the set. It had a 1x4 with spikes where you could fit a Technic Technic gear sliding down and up. But I couldn't do it because I didn't have enough less pieces. So I decided, all right, I'm just going to add this. I think it's like a 1x16 old. I think it's like a 9. It's not a 9-volt track, but it was used in that time period. So I decided to use that and not make the elevator work, just for show. So I think I used, so it was 16 by times 4. So it was 4 up, 4 16 by up. That was how tall it was in the end.
Okay.
So what's that? So 64 studs high plus the roof. So pretty big build. And I think how much it probably is close to the real build. That was what I was aiming for, at least. But it's bloody massive. It's a big build. I can't wait to get it. I'm just waiting for it to come out in stores here, but it hasn't yet, unfortunately.
Okay. So now you're starting. We're looking at this thing, and you're starting to really it's starting to really develop. You're getting the pieces that you need, and it's coming to more of a reality. What are you thinking at this point here?
Oh, it's finally moving somewhere. I had a fun time putting this. I'm sliding my mouse over like you can see it. The train. I think it's the same piece in the set, just in brown, but I used it in light bluish grey. So that was a cool touch. I had one of them. I had 2 of them from one of the old train sets from 2006. But yeah, I was starting to go somewhere. I was thinking, okay, maybe I can do this. So it started to move. Yeah, it started to be fun. Definitely.
Okay. All right. So there's some of the steps inside here now.
So that was RRB. Ninjago from Australia. Lego got kind of pissed off with him, and I guess they leaned on YouTube and Instagram, and they made them, they wiped his page clean behind that, which is unfortunate. So I think RB actually took a step back for a bit in this taste, because he is a huge fan of Lego, like all of us, but for them to try to stomp him out just for something simple like that, it's just, it's disheartening. But the guy, he has a lot of ambition when it came to Lego, and in the Ninjago series, he had a lot of ambition and everything. And so definitely go back and try to find him if he's still on YouTube. I don't know. I haven't heard from him in a while. Or just go back and watch the clip. He had a lot more to show, and all the mocks. I mean, all the mechs that they came out with, he already had before they came out with. Before they started selling them in the stores, he had them, and he went to shows with them and everything. And they're real spot on. They're right on the mark. So the next guest was episode 4.2. I did 2 episodes in that one day. Was my good friend CKB, which is a Cool Kid Bricks, member from the DMV Bros and the Moist Crew and the AP Stream. He's a Texas kid, so that's a real American right there. A Texas kid, a Texas homegrown kid, and he was from the School of Hard Knocks. Got in trouble like most teenagers do, and got put on the right path, and became a man, start making better choices, everything like that. Most of his builds are Asian influenced, and so let's take a look, and you can see what I mean. CKB, who do you have? Guys.
There. And then Mrs. CKD on the right side. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. He loves bamboo, and he does a great job with the bamboo. So and I'm trying to get it down pat, but I ain't learned yet. Tell us the thought into this. Is it a boat? Is it a boat, or is it bamboo hut that you had to it?
I'm gonna call it like an old school cho. At first I wanted to build it kind of open, where you could just, go through room and all that. It'll be easier if I just close it off. Yeah, man, and that was pretty much it. Like, part of the build was the roof. And like all my other projects, it's still not finished because the interior is halfway done.
I was just about to ask you about that, sir.
Yeah. I got the interior done on half the side. But the half that I got done, like if you look inside, there's tatami mats, with using tan and green tile, and also I guess a little stand where you could put samurai armor on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take some lessons from you. I'm trying to build a nation town. So, all right. So, tell us about the picture on the left with the gator.
With the gator, well, I just wanted to throw him in there, but the main thing with that was just like trying to capture the gate and let everyone know Asian theme, and they immediately think of China.
Okay.
So that's why I put the little Japanese brick built flag up there, just so people know. I'm going more for a Japanese theme, not a Chinese theme or a Korean theme. So, and this whole area was just, this was me after living in Japan for 5 years and missing it so damn much that I had to, I guess, have a piece of Japan in my Lego room, and that's what this is for me. So
okay,
yeah.
Okay. I see on the right you incorporated the Ninjago tower here as well. That blends right into with your themes.
Yeah, and I like doing that. I like taking actual Lego sets and incorporating them into the city, which I mean I think most people like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's exactly what I did.
Okay. All right, and again, can you tell us about these pictures here? Of course, you had the Ninjago city themes as well into your city, around with the bamboo and the beach here. Go ahead and tell us about the direction that you were trying to go.
So the temple of Erujitsu there, normally the set the temple goes up 3 stories. My wife soon, she corrected me on it. Chinese temples go up 3 stories. Japanese go up 5. So I was like, all right, I see what you're trying to tell me right now. And that was me. I bricklinked the rest of the parts to make, or to add 2 floors, and that's what I did. And then the one on the right side, I really just wanted to show, it's hard to get, this whole section on camera in one shot. But I just wanted to show, the bamboo, and I mean, it's a lot of bamboo. It's a lot of brick.
Yeah.
So
I think you brought it all up. I went to the picket brick wall, and they were all out, man. I couldn't get nothing.
Really?
Yeah. The last bit of it, which was a cup. But yeah, man, that bamboo works in anybody's city, in any field, man.
So that was CKB, and as you can see, his city was an Asian theme, and that was just one part of the city. It's pretty big. His city's pretty big, and he's doing a new project as well, and he'll update that. But that's another person for you to follow if you don't know, CKB, and I'm sure you guys do. He posts a lot on YouTube, and these are all people from the community that I've been learning from. And so, I really like, CKB. He's a very genuine guy, and not just because I spend Saturday mornings with him down at the diner. But that's how I got to really know him, those Saturday mornings, parking lot deals. Real genuine guy, help you with anything, man. And that's the kind of people that the community is about. So the next episode was Busy Blocks. Busy Blocks is another AFOL community member, very big into YouTube, and she's also a builder. Now, Busy was concerned. She said, why are you picking me for the show? I don't have any mocks. She's like, I'm an out of a box builder. That's fine. I said, you're still a builder, and as I started looking at her pictures, I found that Busy does mock up some builds. She had quite a few mocks. We won't get to all of them tonight because I got to move forward. But here's what I have on Busy.
Of just a real life tree, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I was trying to make it look as real as possible, but it still had to be solid and strong, so that was the best I could do.
It looks good. It does. It looks real good. All right, so now we're taking another view of the tree. Now you have it. You incorporated the bridge there. Tell us about the finishing touches on it.
So the right half is not nearly complete yet. The mountain, I wish I took a picture of the side of the mountain. The mountain looks good, but I have a lot more work to do on it. So I wanted pretty much where it was a treehouse where you can walk across the bridge and get to a mountain and just have water underneath. So it's still a work in progress. That part definitely is not near complete.
For a person that doesn't do mocks, you've done well on this one. I mean, the concept and the actual structure and the technique that you got going down here, it's way above average. You're flying high here with this build. You know, you are, and like you said, with all the technique and the mountain and the tree. I mean, you definitely. I can't wait to see what you bring to Philly.
Well, hopefully it'll be complete by then. I'm hoping.
So tell us about your city. This is your city here. You got quite a variety here, and I like it because, like I said, it's your city is you know, no pun intended,
so that
but
was
it's very
Busy Blocks, and she's another Midwesterner and very exciting enthusiast, Lego enthusiast. And as you can see, she was using the slope techniques to build up the blocks for the tree house and everything. And so you know, there's a few, myself, I'm picking up techniques from what I've learned through the interviews and the community as well. And so episode 6 was one of my good friends, Hoosier Briggs. Hoosier Briggs is an awesome guy, your regular blue collar guy. And he would give the shirt off his back if you needed it. He's that type of guy. And I never met him face to face, but that's the impression I get from this guy, is that he would go above and beyond to help you. And in fact, Hoosier came in on the last minute need, and I was able to get him in on his interview. And some of the builds that he's doing, I can't wait to go to Philly just to go see him. You get we use that term in the AFOL community, Hoosier size. So you got McDonald's, small, medium, large, extra large, and then there's Hoosier size. And that's on the menu. So let's take a look and check out Hoosier.
The other 2 parts of the building. I was I don't want to do that. I want to use all of that beautiful sand green. So I went ahead and doubled the flower shop as well, and said that was all I was going to do. But of course, after I got it all put together, and I was, man, it's too long and not tall enough. So I added a couple more floors to try to make it be in the right proportion.
Mm-hmm. Another view here. Okay, that thing looks huge. That thing. I'm looking at this table. I'm trying to grasp the rim. Yeah, and that thing is pretty long.
Yeah, when you put the extra base plates on each side of it for the sidewalk and stuff, it's a little over 3 foot long.
Okay. 3 feet long. Wow.
And that is the worst section, because it's all one section. When you pick that up, the whole thing comes up. And when we was in Buffalo, you can ask Thick and Bot. They almost seen it hit the floor. When I was taking it out of the box to set it on the table, I could feel it crumbling in my hands. And how I got it set down in time, where I only ended up knocking off 10, 15 pieces. And that was a little scary moment there.
Oh, I believe it, man. I believe it. You would have been having a long day trying to put that stuff back together, man.
No, I went straight in the box, back in the van.
You got time for it. Oh, man. I say this, you definitely, when you build, man, you take your time doing it, and you do it right the first time, or when you get ready to release it, you do it right. I don't see any you know, I can look at my builds and see all the corners I done cut my builds. And but you it don't look like you cut any corners.
I cut them where I can, believe it or not, especially on the one that I'm working on now.
Yeah.
Like I said, I put on my Grand Emporium build, I'm doing, as you're pulling it up right there. I'm still making it modular, but when you go to pop the floor off, you pull 2 floors off, and the middle section actually don't have a floor, because it ends up costing me like $16 to plate the floor out. So I skipped every other floor and actually plated the floor out.
Okay.
To try to save.
So that was Hoosier. And as you can see, everything is at a large scale size when it comes to Hoosier. He's in building big. And that's what I said, I can't wait to go to Philly Brick Fest just to go shake this dude's hand, because I know what he's going to bring is going to be phenomenal. So I'm glad for him stopping in. If you hadn't seen the interview, definitely go back and go see his interview, or better yet, Instagram page, and look at his builds, and you see what I'm talking about. But everybody in the AFOL community know who Hoosier is and know what Hoosier does, and you Hoosier size it. So episode 7 was Aussie Brick Chick. She's in Australia, and she is the Metropolis Queen. She did a jungle park, you know, off of like Jurassic Park build as well. But she is totally heavily into micro building, and she had a lot of information. Here's her interview right here. Let's pull this up.
Other little stories. That's what I like to do. What we like to do with our big displays.
Well, now, what challenges did you face with building this? Because now you got different ideas. How was it?
Okay. Well, this particular display, Dinosaur Park, evolved over about 4 years. We started off with really, really small, with just a handful of sets. So my son got for Christmas one year. So we went from that to investing in base plates and more elements and bits. So like you see like palm trees and stuff like that. All that amount of stuff didn't just sort of appear overnight. It took years of developing and collecting. But instead of like some people who collect it all and then make this one awesome thing and show it once and then it's done, we sort of developed it like as each show progressed. So we'd buy a bit more. So we started with something small, then it sort of grew to like a table, 2 tables, and then more and more full. So as it stands at the moment, it does have some technical things that are a bit tricky, like waterfall. Sometimes doesn't travel very well. We might want to redesign that into something different. And all the clip bases, they just hang off on snot pieces. And sometimes they don't sit as straight as I'd like them to. But at the point in time when we first started building this, we're novices to Lego, and we just had to go with what we had access to. So we didn't have access to things like burps, you know, those big rock pieces that a lot of people use as like their skeleton of their mountain slides. So without pieces like that, or knowledge of pieces like that, we just went with what we had. So hubby started.
So that was Aussie Brick Chick from Australia. As you see, her build was the Jurassic Park theme, a dinosaur park, and which was very massive. But she also are into the micro builds as well. She built a couple micro cities. So you definitely want to go back and check her out if you're into that sort of thing. And the technique that she laid down is very awesome as well. So I recommend that you go back. Episode 8, I had Bricksmith. He's a AFOL juggernaut, heavy in the community. You can see him like Monday through Monday on the streams. And he was just a wealth of knowledge and everything. So I can't wait to go to Brickfest to go meet him. And so I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's run into his interview right here.
Brickfest. What does it say? Here's the rest of it. Says, see you there. Enjoy Howie. Hashtag Pink Bucket Nation. You can't see it but it's hanging on my wall where you guys can't see, because that was a message to me. But I shared that because yeah, Howie's awesome.
Right. And we'll get to Howie.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyway, so that is where and Pink Bucket Nation grew from there, and now by the Brick Show, Philly 2016, they asked me what it was all about, and I told them, I said, it's a juvenile thing to have done. However, what it stands for now is the love of Lego, the childlike mentality and heart that I personally have and want to share, and the ability to just have fun and let loose and be a kid.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is what the Pink Bucket Nation is. Hopefully I'll have 1x8 bricks for Philly 2018. We'll see how the stars align on that one.
Okay.
The question is, Iceberg, do you want to see me at Philly, or do you want to see a 1x8 Pink Bucket Nation brick? Right.
We'll see
how the money goes.
It's a toss-up.
Always a toss-up.
Right. So, like, one of the questions I asked you was, what was unique about your builds? And of course, this is it right here, where you have the multiple colors that are incorporated in the build. Now, one build doesn't look like the other, and that's what's so unique about it, is that you're not doing the same thing over and over again. Everything looks different. So tell us about these two builds.
Well, the one on the left is
that was Bricksmith. As you can see, his trademark was the rainbow effect colors. So he would take a out of a box build and break it all down and rainbow the mess out of that thing, and it would look that much better in rainbows, almost like a matrix color. And only in your mind you're thinking, man, that's a lot of bricks, that's a lot of color. It takes a mad mind to do that. And he came out with this formula, and he's done it. Not one color touches the other, and I think that is just remarkable. Now, you got genuine people with genuine ideas, and spreading genuine love. I think that's remarkable in itself, and we love Bricksmith. Can't wait to see you in Philly. That was a fun interview, very fun interview. And in fact, the dude, I got the dude on my speed dial. If I got a question about something, he's so giving. So God bless that dude. Episode 9 was a very young guy from Canada. Multicultural Canadian named Bricks to Go. Learned a lot from this young fella. He actually, he's an out-of-box builder, but when it came to modulars, he mocked his own modulars. And he was just had a wealth of information for being a young dude, and I think his ambition is through the roof. And let's go check out that interview, and you can see what I'm saying.
Definitely want to go for Hoosier and go for ABC, Mrs. Aussie Brick Chick. Definitely. I mean, we're here, man. So definitely reach out. So out of all your builds, which one you prize the most?
That's a good question. I like a lot of them. I think at the moment, my favorite is my most recent modular building. It's the Cafe Bookstore, which you might be able to see just right here. It's blue and orange, but lots of pictures on my Instagram, also a video on my YouTube channel, so you should check that out. But I think, yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites. I was trying to experiment with building with more colors in my build to really make things stand out. And quite pleased with how everything turned out in the end. And one of my favorite parts was I didn't have to make a huge bricklink order, and it didn't cost me a whole bunch of money. So that was nice.
Right,
I was able to fill it with all parts I had, and you know, a relatively small collection at this point. That was nice.
Okay. So, in your Lego career, from beginning to end, whether you were a child or an adult, what was your most memorable interaction? What's your most favorite memory regarding your Lego hobby?
I think it must have been when my family and I went to Legoland, California. I think that was an amazing experience. I was able to see Lego creations like I've never seen before. I mean, I've been to a couple of Lego expos, you know, and events here and there, but to the amount of Lego that was at Legoland, you know, it was just unbelievable. And I'll always remember that, because I was just, you know, I was still pretty young when I went, actually, and so I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I just remember being absolutely perplexed the whole time I was there, walking around just eyes wide, you know, just not believing my eyes as to how much Lego and the detail and everything, you know. And I think even from that really inspired me to start doing my own things and really get into the hobby, you know, even as a kid, just because it was amazing to see the sheer size and even the amount of, you know, adults and everything walking around. Like, even at that point, I knew it wasn't just a kid's toy, you know.
Right.
So I don't know. I would love to go again, and, you know, maybe even visit other Legolands and whatnot, because yeah, it's great. But I always just love seeing other people's creations and being able to take inspiration from that. So, you know, any chance I get to look at Lego is great.
Yeah, man. You can't knock it, man. You can't never get tired of Lego, man.
No,
you can't.
No, it's a lifelong hobby for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take a look at some of your work through a PowerPoint slide, and I'll ask you some questions about your builds and everything we get to know about Bricks to Go.
Sure, sounds good.
All right, let me see here. All right, here we go. All right, folks, if you're just tuning in, my guest tonight is Bricks to Go. He's from Ontario, Canada, 21 years old, at AFOL, looking for an AFOL home. ABC. Hoosier. Reach out to this guy. Bring this guy into the community.
So that is Bricks to Go. It's a young guy, and his builds were phenomenal. His modulars were phenomenal. I don't know if you saw it, but up to the top left of him, where he was sitting in front of his collection, the top left was a city block modulars of all his mocks that he made. And so I think that his style is very unique, and I think he's far ahead for his age. But he has put in time into Lego. So episode 10, I had Lego Snoop, who's a U.S. veteran as well, just came back from overseas, and he's a Georgia native. And his expertise in the brick was he was like a vehicle engineer. Everything that he did custom mocks that were vehicles. And so I'll show you that interview here shortly. Let's dial him up.
So my son, he just put a set together. So every time he puts a set together, he always brings me the extra pieces.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with a little recycling, man. We all need some extra pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now we're getting a little bit into your realm here with the hot rod and the modding out of the vehicles. Tell us about this build we're looking at right now.
Yeah, so this was the auto carrier. You know, the set, forgot the number off the top of my head. But, you know, as you knew, it comes with 2 cars on the bottom, 2 cars on the top, 4 wide. So I looked at it and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and try to make it 5 wide. I had some extra ladder pieces. So, okay, thanks, buddy. So he just, yeah. There's my son, he just put this together. So he just wanted to bring it to me. He gives me the pieces. Instruction. Sorry, I digress. Yeah, so I was like, you know, I'll make it a 5-car carrier. The yellow roadster I built up there, that's a mock that I created. I saw somebody else's idea at the Lego show, and I was like, I'm gonna try to build that. So I did that. And the other 2 cars at the bottom, you know, those are modified cars that I had off the that came with the set actually. And then the rail runner at the top, the back of it. I think it was based on a set, but I Googled Lego railroad maintenance or something like that, and so a couple of mocks came up that other people made. So I just took some of the ideas and just put them all together and try to came up with this. And the red one is from the police station. Forgot the number.
It's all right.
Not good with numbers.
Yeah, we all forget sometimes. I'm not the best at it, man, but I love the builds.
Yeah.
So tell us about this hot rod you got here.
Yeah, that was the first like mock rod that I made. So
that was Lego Snoop. And as you see, you can go back and take a look yourself, or just go to Lego Snoop's Instagram and see some of the Lego vehicle mocks that he has done. And he's got quite a collection of them. He's pretty swifty when it came to the Lego vehicle mocks. And that guy is down South Georgia. And so, you know, regular guy like us, AFOL. My next guest was at episode 11, was No More Bricks. You might have heard of him. He's been on Beyond the Brick, and he made a killing in Philly, Brick Fest. His Harambe, his new beach, Harambe New Beach, with the New Beach colonists, was remarkable. But that wasn't even his best work. I think his best work was a scene that he made in Star Wars, and I'll show you here.
Built this big wall. I mean, it's not Star Killer Base like everyone says. It was inspired by Star Killer Base, but it's just a garrison for my city.
Okay.
Picture on the right, that's Whaley. Okay, so story goes. So I hyped up Duplo Whale hype. I got the idea from Andrea. Because you know, I'm Team Andrea, all sorts. But so we built iterations of the Duplo whale. Beautiful Duplo figure, by the way. I recommend it to anybody. I think you still get it at Toys R Us. I think it's like $20-$30. So go ahead and go buy one. But since I was doing a Star Wars build, I built a Star Wars inspired whaley, or a Duplo whale build, and I built armor around it, and it kind of looks like the Republic gunship from Star Wars.
Okay, yeah, I see that. Yep, yeah.
I wish I had took the pictures of Tim Tam the whale, which was Wicked Jesters, and funny story how that went. So he said Tim Tam the whale. And I was like, don't say that. That sounds like a Viet Cong. So he dressed up his whale
as a Viet Cong whale. Andrea made hers as a nudist whale. I'll get into that later.
Okay.
But when we displayed them at Philly, there was a Vietnamese family.
Mm-hmm.
They're, looking at our stuff. They're like all smiling. They look at the whales, and they went to Nick's. They're like, their face just went like happy to just like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like,
oh wow.
Yeah, really memorable. It's hilarious.
Okay.
But yeah, this is the start of my first order garrison base.
You in the first order, you have a couple of mechs there. Tell us about those mechs that you got standing on that table.
I mean, you'll see a better picture of it later, but
okay.
At this time I was like playing around with like, the mech.
So that was my good buddy No More, and he is part of the DMV Brick Brothers crew. And as you know, he made the garrison build there, and he's very heavy in Star Wars, heavy in the mechs. Definitely take a look at his Instagram, and he's like I said, he's been on Beyond the Brick time, so you'll be able to see him. So he held the Saturday night stream C, and she organizes the Saturday night, and every time you could see her sorting a lot as well too. And so let's check her out.
I believe it. I believe that you are one of the important. I mean, we're all important, but I mean, I think you're one of the most important people in the AFOL community that we're all in. Being one of the most active people in it. Tell me, how important is the Lego AFOL community to you, and you and your husband and y'all builds together?
Gosh, I love our community, and it's become like a second family to us. And
mm-hmm.
And it's sad because lately we've just been so drained from work that we have no energy whatsoever to do anything on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice that we have such a passion and love for Lego when we're building and whatnot. That we like a lot of us, we all share our personal numbers. It's like, hey, I'm having trouble with this. Can you help me out? Or I had someone asking about Berkeley, how to operate Berkeley last week.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I forgot your question. Where was going?
How important is the Lego AFOL community to you when you build?
No, it's a big part of our lives.
Yeah.
We're all spread out across the U.S. Knowing that, hey, this person, like when Who's Your Son broke his arm, and it's like, we're all feeling for the kid.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. All right. So tell me, what was the most memorable interaction you had with someone regarding your Lego hobby? Whether it was in your youth years or your adult years?
I have, Sean says Julian. Gosh, that guy is such a ball of energy and just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most interesting experience, I think the first time we met you, because you were just a face in the crowd, you're sitting there like, hey, I found you. And it's like, wow, someone actually read that post and say, hey, come find us to come get 2017 sig fig. Not saying they're just smacking Sean like, hey, get your fig, get your fig.
Right.
We give you his fig. I turn around to give you mine, and you were just gone. Like, I think a week later, in the Instagram and all that.
So I didn't get a Haley fig. That's how that story went because I left too early. So I still need to get that Haley fig. I missed out on getting that. I got a Brickanics. I got 2 of Brickanics figs, but you know, I'm so quick to leave. I guess because there's so much to see, and I probably was trying to hurry up and get over to No More's table. Just it was so much to see at that show, and I ended up leaving without Haley's fig, which I came in to get. But Haley has done quite a few mocks. Definitely, go check her social page out. And if you want to see some real stuff, definitely go see her stuff. As you can see behind her, she has shelves and shelves of Lego. I think their Lego overrun her house. And so you definitely want to check her out and check those builds out, or go back to episode 12 and you can see her mocks that she went into. She did a couple Ninjago stuff. She did a couple city stuff. She was real heavy into the city theme, where she went in and took a modular and mocked it up to be her own. So you definitely want to check that out if you're into the city mocking and stuff like that. Episode 13, this guy is Mr. Mysterio. Episode 13 is the Brick Hunter. Is known for his Avengers Tower. Avengers Tower is a massive up there. It's up there with Agents of Mocs, Avengers Towers, Jesse Brick Galaxy's a tower as well. It's up there. What I'm talking about. Let's get him punched up here.
Every point that you set out to make, man.
Well, I used it because it worked. So I wasn't using it. It wasn't working. So
right. Okay. All right. So here's one of my favorites. You made the Teen Titans headquarters. Definitely love this build of yours. And I think I watched it a couple times on your YouTube channel. So what inspired you to do this build? And you said you did it from the, you pulled your office building and you erected this right here.
Yeah. The bottom section was the office building. I redid a lot of it to build up a 10 tower. The start of this project was I can't remember why, but I was looking up tower. You're a Lego fan. You can always look up Lego something, right? So I was just I don't know why I was looking up tower, but I thought, well, I'm a Lego fan. Let me look up what other people have built. And I couldn't really find that many images of mocks of Titan Tower, and I was just like, what? Like, I'm gonna try it,
Yeah.
So that's how this thing got started, and it just one of the gradual things I worked on a little bit at a time. And at one point, I just stopped because I was like, there's not much you could do with the Titan Tower. You're just in a T shape, and what do I do after that, But
yeah. How'd you get it to stay up? You got I see it's the bank is one support, so you just support it through the modulars.
This plate, so the top T section is not modular. It doesn't come off. It just stays like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be too. I was worried about it falling off too much because there's a lot of weight on the side, and I didn't want it to droop so much. So I just decided, make it permanent. Just like put the studs there and just let it sit there. I didn't need to take it out. The back side of it open, and it kind of opens up like a dollhouse. So I really didn't think that I needed to blur style.
Yeah,
and then so I stopped that.
Definitely. All right. So this is I guess the inside. What we're looking at is the inside of your Sanctum Sanctorum, and you said that it had the theme.
So he went on, as you see, he built the Titan's Tower, which is awesome. You know, making that T and having that T stand up would be a little bit challenging. Sanctum Sanctorum, which was an elegant build as well. But I think he put a spin on it where he used I guess the Friends living room set and actually put the Friend in and made he made a because he was going to make a Friends building and ended up turning it into the Sanctum Sanctorum. Two different things merged into one. Then he went on and made the Avengers Tower. Definitely, check his stuff out. One of the pioneers in Lego with the the superheroes themed build, and definitely a strong builder. Don't know what he looked like, folks. He's a mysterious guy, so you won't see his face, but you can see the magnificent work that he does do. We'll see, and don't take my word for it. Find out about it yourself. So episode 14, I had a Modern Brick. A lot of you folks know her. She's from the community, especially with TMX Bricks. Together, they help organize the Brick Tubers, and she is into modern design. The work for the Brick Tubers, which is the clubhouse designs and everything as such. And matter of fact, let's take a look and see what I mean.
Ping pong table, there's an air hockey table, there's a game board table, and then there's a cafeteria down the bottom with like a fully stocked buffet. There's a meeting room with a snack table and a big screen that you can have have meetings in there, and then you've got basketball court outside, you've got tennis court outside, fire pit. So really, the clubhouse is that's the ultimate place to go and relax and unwind after a hard day of work.
Okay.
Or after a day of not working. So then we got shuffleboard was not included. It was too big. The way I designed it was too big for the clubhouse that I anyway.
Okay.
But I love playing shuffleboard. Very fun. So I wanted to build a modern version. If you notice, a lot of my stuff is white. It's my favorite color to build.
I see. I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's the poker table.
Okay.
Where everybody has aces, so somebody's cheating. Somebody's definitely cheating. Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. You'll find out when someone gets.
Quickly get shot. I seen Tombstone.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. So this is another installment inside the clubhouse.
Yes. Although I built that before I built the clubhouse, but yes. Yeah.
Great. What we have on the table?
That's just super random. I built these gifts because if you notice that those are the gifts from the birthday card.
It's right.
Yeah, so I wanted to build gifts. I don't know why. I just did. So I did. And now it's fun. But then I realized I wanted to build like a birthday cake as well. And so that's what that is. That's just a white frosting with some sprinkles on top, and then you got the striped candles coming up. So yeah, just kind of a nice little birthday scene. I just thought it was fun. Definitely not minifig scale at all. It's
okay.
It's like a medium. I don't know what scale it's in. It's just there. It's just there.
Right.
Something fun. Random.
A lot of detail. I like it.
Thank you.
All right. Man, this is awesome. I like this. Tell us about this right here.
Dude, so that is the Super Nintendo. That thing took up half my childhood. Oh my God. In Mario Kart specifically, me and my best friend Kim would be over house. When we weren't playing with Barbies, we were playing Super Nintendo. We were playing Donkey Kong Country, and we were playing Mario Kart. And we were very competitive, extremely competitive. And we would just play it all day.
So that was Modern Brick. Definitely go back and see that one. She was into modeling. She does some modeling overseas. She was modeling, a model chick. She's into video gaming, and she played with Legos. Somebody's dream. So, but her conversation that I had with her on that interview was, you know, just a step above the grade. You know, it was a step above the grade. Definitely intellectual individual, and that loves Legos. You know, so I think each and every one of these players that been on the Icebox bring something special, and she definitely stood out. So episode 15 was able to reach out to this remarkable man here. His name. He's heard that he was one of the OGs of the old AFOL community, and very knowledgeable guy from what I hear, even kill guy. And I think that the interview that I had with Rubric really you know, gave me the positive motivation to move forward. And you know, he's definitely a motivator. I mean, you guys know Rubric better than I do, but I got from the interview that he's definitely a motivator, and a very, very positive guy. Here's the interview.
Retired it, I probably would have just bought the original and built it and been happy with it. Out of necessity of the first set being retired, wanting to go to plates, and then I just kind of building off of that. This the greengrocer yet again was built out of plates. Super happy with it. Not satisfied yet, but I am happy. I've got more work to do to it. It's not done.
That is the reverse side. It looks very distressed here from here.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like a near, not quite medieval, but early, you know, bad with timelines, but I don't know, maybe late 1600s, maybe an apothecary or an apartment in, yeah, I guess those, maybe it was an older structure from the 1600s that they just kind of built like a newer, more modern structure on top of, modern for maybe 100 or 150 years ago, maybe 100 years ago. And so it's really old with brick and rock structures at the bottom, and then the wood on top of that. And again, I'm bad with timelines. I don't know, but that's the whole idea behind the rickety greengrocer. Is it's very, very distressed. It started as a rock wall on the bottom, and then has aged. Very, I guess.
Right, yeah. Gotcha.
All right, so that was Rubric, and like I said, in the end, at the end of the interview, he goes on to say something very positive. So definitely go back and check out. If you missed it, definitely go back and check out what he said. Excuse me, my dog is taking a drink, so it's not me, it's my dog. Are you done yet? Hey, must be thirsty. You done? All right. And so in this interview, it was very moving, very moving. I'm glad that he chose to do it, because I really didn't know nothing about him, and in that interview, you know, it gave me the motivation to continue doing what I've been doing. And so I want to thank you, Rubric, for planting that seed of motivation. Because, you know, every day, you know, you hear from the AFOLs that they, you know, this is heavy work. You know, you have your builds, you know, you're doing what you love, and then you try to share it to the community, and you hope that the community is receptive to it. And when they're not, it's heartbreaking. And so, and he understood that, and he gave me some words of motivation. So thank you, Rubric. I truly appreciate that. And I think that was one of my moving interviews with him because he had so much to say. Episode 16, we went to a New York native, AFOL, named Biz Bricks. Has a unique sig fig, and I actually should have done a sig fig trade with him, and I missed the opportunity to do that. I probably have to ask him a little bit later on. So here's Biz.
Side, sig fig.
What was that? I'm sorry.
So how did you decide about coming about to designing your sig fig?
The city itself?
No, your sig fig.
Oh,
your ministry.
I just, man, when they were coming out with all those the CMFs, and then they came out with that hot dog dude. That hot dog dude was just like me all over, like the face, really. Because I'm everywhere I go, like all the barbecues, everybody's like, "Oh, Biz will just eat the hot dogs. Don't worry about the hamburgers." so the hot dog guy was just like me in a nutshell, kind of thing.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah. All right, so we have here. This is your build here.
Yeah, that's actually the one that won the Columbus Museum of Art the prize.
Okay. Tell us about this build here.
Yeah, it was I guess the parameters were it had to be one base plate big, and it couldn't be no higher than 2 feet tall, and it had to be somewhere where you would want to live. So I built like this kind of like this space station with like a little vehicle, and it had like it has like a full house inside, like a little space station. I had like a living room, a kitchen, a bathroom, like the whole nine.
Okay.
But I built it, and I was building it, and then about halfway through it, I kind of just put it to the side and started building something else because I kind of lost track. I guess I came up with a builder's block. I guess
that was Biz Bricks, and he's from the New York City area. That's where he was from, and so he goes on and explains the different mocks that he's done and everything like that. Definitely check him out as well, and see the artwork that he has displayed as well. So episode 17 was Learn Brick, who's a brickling center. Now I chose Learn Brick because he's definitely an articulate guy. He can articulate anything, and he gives a good dialect and conversation. And so I chose Learn Brick because Learn Brick isn't a mock player. Like he doesn't make mocks like we do. And he does some out of the box builds and stuff like that. Nothing major and anything. But however, he gave us the perspective from the other side of the brick, from being a brickling seller. And he does go on to explain, says, hey, look, I fill out orders, and I'll look at the packages and imagine, what's going to be built from these orders. But he said, hey, give a seller a break and kind of show us a picture of what you created, because we want to know, where the imagination comes into play with these bricks. And here's his interview here.
Also have that way to it. But what I can tell you, and this is trying very desperately not to be like a shill or to sell myself. If you order, you got to get it fast. I will do my best. Especially if you order before the end of the workday, before 5, it'll get packed that night, and it's sent out to you the next day. And sometimes it's a little it's a little late into the evening, but I get it done because, like in the beginning, like I said, you're up your hard-earned money, so I want to make sure that you're putting that energy into getting this product. I want to put that energy into getting you that product.
Right.
So, and just everything is compartment bag separately, and it's just nice and clean, and it's ready to go for you. But it's really just a matter of respect, getting people what they want is when they want it. They wanted it yesterday. They thought about it. They had the idea. They needed it in their collection. Or the more you can shrink the time between the need and the have, people are happy, and that's my goal. Which was it's a little rough around holiday weekends and longer holidays. I'm like, oh, I feel so bad because maybe it's an extra day before somebody gets to it. And that eats me up as much as you have to wait for it. I could have done it, but I needed, that half an hour of sleep because I got to get up and go to work the next day.
Oh yeah, so, yeah. Got to stay on the grind.
But what I can say, it won't be unique, but it will be a good. I will treat your order, your money, and your request with the respect that it deserves.
Yes.
And maybe that's the thing that's unique.
Yep. That's very cool, man. That is very cool. So you're out of the set, builder. So you just out of the set builder. Tell us about some of the sets you and
so that was Learn Brick, and that was a definitely good conversation there, and it made the play because like I say, he's not a mock builder. So, there was no mock show at the end. I mean, the way he organizes his Lego is almost like the Dewey Decimal System, and so, and we learned about that. The guy has his own library in his basement. That's how organized this guy is. I think that's very remarkable. So on to episode 18. We had Spirit Particles, and Spirit Particles gave us her view of being a mock builder. And so let's check out her interview here.
He doesn't come up here. But he spends a lot of time outside too, so.
So the funny thing about this is that before I got a chance to know you, I seen this. Matter of fact, it was last year it was this year, earlier this year at Brickfest. It was the first time I seen it. And since then, I've been seeing it everywhere. I'm like, what is that? What is that? This thing it's made its way all the way over to Australia too. You look in Oz's city, and it's he's got a billboard. Be rich, don't be a yeah. But so what inspired this little this comic relief?
Well, just people can be how else can you say it? People can be assholes,
right?
And I see it. One day I seen somebody giving I think it was AFOL Man a hard time just about one of his videos, and people were saying, hey, just if you don't like it, don't watch it. And he said, I'm just giving him constructive criticism. And that's when Richard was born. Because Richard had to come out and tell that person the real definition of constructive criticism. And then he, I tried to keep it going, but I just got busy, and he was doing a word of the week.
What it is, and it's a catchy phrase. It is. It caught on to, and it's funny because life is a full circle. Like I saw that attachment that she created to know her, and it was so intriguing, like so catchy. Man, and it comes around that she created that. That's just awesome. Like I think that we all give like these for lack of a better term, into the community or these seeds into the community and watch this garden grow. Like, that's why I do like this show because I learn from, everyone. So 19, Episode 19, In Talk. In Talk is like the Bob Ross. Like, she's a masterpiece when she does Lego. Some of her builds she sold off inadvertently and you know and otherwise. She had one build that she did for a university, and she had one build that she did for a Philly Brick Fest, and come to find out it was somebody's house that they were living in, and they bought it from her. The interactions, having interactions, stuff like that. Lego is always the unexpected. And definitely she goes into her interview here.
Quite the same as Philly. I didn't know as many people. It was the first time I was showing, but Bricks and Bricks for Chris made it well worth my time, and we really enjoyed ourselves. There's a lot of fun there.
All right.
And then this is the process of building my first. This is really my first mock.
Okay.
And it's a house on our campus. It's a light yellow brick building. And this is when just first coming out, and they had that yellow color. So I know Big B. I told Big B he needed to get his friend sets opened, and I was buying them from him. I was buying them from Clutch. Anybody who had those yellow, I spent a lot of money on those yellow, and I was buying some of the sets myself, which isn't the best way to get brick. You're better off buying.
Right.
But the bottom, like the basement, is just brick, but then the levels, it's a modular, have it's when the women scientist set came up, so I set it up like it's not set up in my campus. That's like at the registrar's building, or was at the time, but I set it up like it would be, have a faculty lounge, and have some scientists in it, have a sociologist in it, have a communication professor in it. It had a classroom in it, so I kind of built it like my own university building.
Ah, okay. So here.
So that's when the science is set. So within one of the rooms, the room up to the left, actually that's downstairs on the first floor. I put like the paleontologist down there on the first floor, the anthropologist, have you. She's got her books in the background. She's got a computer she's working on, and then she's checking out the skeleton, the dinosaur she has there.
Okay. Well, way to do the detailing. I see you got the little bag top in there, and the bookshelf right there.
Yeah, the arch, and I did all the floors different ways too. It's really fun.
All right.
Yep, that's at the brick show. I can tell from the background. So that's when it was on display. And one thing I did learn there is nobody knew what that was. I did have a picture of the house, but no, of the school building, but nobody really.
That was In Talk's interview, and she definitely go back and check out this interview. She did some dynamic work. She's definitely a sleuth, and when it comes to brick engineering, and learned a lot in her perception. Mind and a clear eye view. So episode 20. Went down to traveled down to, well, I ain't traveled, but went down to Florida. This guy's coming out of Florida, a young guy, and he's taking the Lego YouTube by storm. When he streams, there's like hundreds of people watching him. Very energetic guy. Some of you know him, some of you may not. Is M&R Productions, Ryan from M&R Productions. The guy, his ambition is through the roof, and it's very contagious. And I can see why he has the success that he does, because his personality is very contagious. Here's his interview.
I will share my screen on here so I can show it.
Yes, I can show present. Yeah.
All right, give me just a second, and I will. Do you want to ask me another question while so we can fill that?
Sure. All right. So How important is the Lego community to you? Now, you kind of bridge the gap, sir, with the TFOLs and the AFOLs. You're the in between guy, so you know and that's a great place to be when you're presenting and everything and on YouTube. But how important is that community to you, your builds, and what you do, your show?
I think it's awesome. Like I love the interaction. Like I like talking to people that comment on my videos or comment on my chat on my live streams. I think it's really awesome. I like meeting people at conventions, so like Brick World or Brick Fair, whatever it may be. Like it's a lot of fun to meet people, and then on top of that, you know, meeting people that like my peers, I guess I would say, like other YouTubers, like Just Too Good, Brother from Another Brick. You know, people like that I've met before in person, Michael, like so many that I've met in person, I guess, because of events too. So it's really awesome getting to know people and getting to meet people. And like some of my fans that like I just talk to more often, and I don't know, I like it. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, great. So what was the most memorable interaction you had with somebody regarding your Lego hobby?
Most memorable interaction. Okay, let me show you my best mock while I think about that.
You got it.
Memorable interaction. Okay. All right. So can you see my screen? Oh,
you're up.
Here we go. All right. So this is probably my favorite mock ever. And if you can see my mouse, this half that I'm like pointing to is the half that I built, and this is based off the Star Wars Battlefront 2, original Battlefront 2 Kashyyyk map. And I don't know. It's probably my favorite mock that I ever did. We did it as a collab, and I want to show you the front part as well. But yeah, it's probably my favorite one that we have done, and just built a little wall here and everything. I thought it was pretty good for the time. Obviously, standards have risen over the years, and this was over 5 years ago, which is insane to me. But I think it looks pretty nice. But yeah.
Looks real nice. Okay, all right.
That's probably the one I'm most proud of. Most of the other stuff I start and I don't finish, or I talk about doing. I still want to build a Hoth mock. That's like my number one mock on the list to do. So maybe that'll get done eventually, but who knows?
So that's Ryan from M&R Productions, and he is a YouTube king when he does it. He usually does reviews. He's not a mock guy, but you know, he'll do out of the box builds and a lot of Star Wars stuff, and very knowledgeable about Star Wars. And now that the new sets came out, he's all over it, and giving out good information on Star Wars. And he's also made what's called a Brick Busters, where he takes on what he perceives to be, either false advertisement or, just buyer awareness. I should say buyer awareness, which, can ruffle some feathers. But kudos to him. And so episode 21 is Nader's Mock. Now this guy's out of PA through Penlug. I met this guy down at Brick Fair, Virginia. I met face to face with him, and he hangs with Penlug. His interview was awesome because even not only the information that he relayed about the trains and Lego, but also the mocks that he had, and the way he built his town. The Lego trains came first, operate the modules into where they need to be so that his train system works. And he went on to and shared a lot of information and photos about his town that he made. And you can see the evolution happened in his town. And here's Nader Mocs.
No, I'm dating myself. But when I look at this reminds me sort of a little bit of Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. You look at the buildings, and he had the model buildings. He had the trolley and stuff like that. It's kind of I kind of get that same feel looking at this.
Yeah, honestly, you say that. Yeah, I honestly agree with you on that. I never really thought about that that way, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, kind of. When I said it to myself as I was putting this together. But and so you actually build, and this is the thing, you actually build real town or real buildings that incorporate the railroad, the locomotive, like this building that we're looking at right here. Can you explain about this building here?
Okay, that building there was actually, a lot of my buildings in actually city planning is actually inspired by a famous model railroader who is layout is still in existence. It was known as the Franklin of South Manchester. Ancient layout was started in the 80s by a gentleman who owned his own fine-scale miniature kit company. And he was basically, I mean, this guy was like the shock rocker of his era. He still is to some degree. Because he was creating HO buildings, and HO is real small. I don't know if you've ever seen the scale, but he's making these huge, giant, monster buildings that were appropriate for the scale. I mean, they were 10 stories high, and like some of them had 2,000 windows in them.
Oh wow! Okay.
And this was based off one of his buildings, though his building actually had wood siding, while mine has brick. But someday I intend on building another version of it, but using the more simulated siding. And this was intended to be a small manufacturer that would get loads, picked up and empties dropped off while it was happening. And then, of course, the dust collector on top was typical of a lot of the manufacturings where they had to cut down on their dust from their stuff that was collected and then disposed of. And you can't see it on the opposite side.
So that's Nader's Mocs, and so he goes on about the development of his town. So you definitely want to check that out. He got into Lego through trains. Trains, and then you have Lego trains. And so I think he definitely has dropped a gem into the Lego community. So anything train related, or you trying to get a town train, a train town in your city, definitely look that brother up, Nader's Mocs. Definitely look at any, very knowledgeable about the Lego trains. So then my most recent interview was actually in a builder from Malaysia. Of course, she's already like probably 12 hours ahead of us. So, we had to get the time, synchronized and everything. But it was awesome. It was a short interview, but it was a very awesome interview because she spoke about not so much about the builds in Lego, but the common hobby that she had. Someone from afar had that same hobby, and they forged a lifelong friendship. Now they both live together over in Malaysia as friends. And she's they're having a Lego.
I can understand that. Yeah, my brother's saying we had all, but couldn't touch it. Yeah, I couldn't touch it. What are your Lego aspirations? What's next? Waiting over the horizon for you?
Well, hopefully, right now I'm living with friends, but I'd like to be able to display it wherever I move to. Like cool displays. Yeah, because right now I have so much Lego sets, but if we build it, we have nowhere to put it. So it's like creating really cool, also like really cool displays for minifigures. Like DIY ones, not Lego overpriced ones.
Yeah, I can understand that. You can those things that make you bleed through the nose if you keep buying them, like you said the Batman series 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta mix and match. Yeah, definitely. So, how many minifigures do you own?
I don't earn that much. I think like maybe 30, but it's my friend who has hundreds of them, like hundreds. She's fanatical about collecting every single minifigure from each series. Yeah, so she's the one. There's hundreds, so that's why we need an inexpensive way to display them somewhere.
Gotcha. I got you. Yeah, it's tough actually, finding the proper place because of the attention and clutter. So
look at my Lego, and she's in Malaysia. Everybody knows that Lego's universal, but it's amazing that one person can look at one picture and forge a friendship through Lego. Definitely go back and take a look at that interview, and you'll see that the friendship that Lego has forged, which lasts a lifetime. I want to thank every last one of my interviewees for letting me into their homes and opening up their book of Lego and life, so I can put on display on my channel. I want to thank all the watchers that steadily come in and tune in for watching and everything, and I appreciate that. So I'll see you next week. 9 o'clock is the time, and the same bat channel. With that, I bid you peace, love, and Lego. Happy New Year's.